What is it?
Kava. This one. Yeah.
That's today Kava?
No.
No.
No, not today Kava. But we like I said, Sindana, in the area where we stay here, it's roughly about 5 different types of kava. Yeah. And then they put the roots on, and then when the young roots they shoot out.
Oh, it grew like this.
Grow in it. And
Oh,
then
wow.
after when they took the pulses off, then it became snake.
And this is an Akamal?
And this is Nagamo. This is where they used to train kava. For it is no, how to say that?
Traditional Nakamal.
Yeah.
This is a hotel?
This is where the visitors sleep.
The visitors sleep in here?
See the coconut shells for the kava?
Oh, cool, too cool.
Yeah.
This is the
And the Nagamo
hotel.
houses are different from the houses that we do in the village. So different.
Yeah.
They sound that when there's a problem
Yeah.
in the village, and all the adults come from the entire village.
They're gonna come.
Now the distance, now it was clap dance, step on the car. But the ladies just stand and sing. Vehicle before, no truck or no cars before. Yeah. Someone to spit to the
Nice.
Get that video out.
In the video. Where the volcano.
I'm going to the volcano.
Well, that's sick. Volcano. Live volcano, where you're not allowed to go. That's where we're at right now. There are all the people over there. Here's our tour guide right here. Took us where you're not allowed to be. Right in the volcano.
Want to go on vacation, Susan?
Yeah, I've changed my mind now. Never.
There we are. Scene one.
The kava has been cut
It's been chopped up, it's been passed through the mechanical grinder, it's been mixed up with water in these big dishes, and now it's being squeezed. It's being squeezed is to mix the juice well with the water, then it will be sieved and we will drink it.
Yummy.
And this has come out of the grinding machine. He takes a handful at a time, puts it into the sack, and then mixes it up well with the water. Then, when all the goodness, all the essences come out, he'll empty the residue into here. This is what we call macas, from an old word meaning sugarcane residue. If you're really desperate and you've run out of kava at the end of the night, you can take this and make it up back again. Make a fresh batch with it, but it's not as good as the fresh stuff. Macas is what you drink when you're desperate and the fresh stuff has run out.
So do you throw that away?
Yeah, this will go to the dump.
This is fresh.
That's the fresh
It's wet too.
Yeah. They're now sieving the kava. The filter here they're using is actually a woman's underskirt. It's been washed clean, and now it's being used just to remove the finer particles from the kava, the stuff that the sack he was using before didn't trap. The quality of the kava depends a lot on how well people filter it. If you want really, really, really clean kava, you might pass it through a filter 3, 4, 5 times. If any solid matter makes it into the final kava, that will really mess you up. You know, if you taste solid stuff in the kava you're drinking, you know you're gonna feel rubbish the next morning. So filtering is a really important part of the process. So this is what's been filtered out. This is the bad stuff. It's being thrown away. This is going to be taken to the dump, where I'm sure the rats are going to get nicely stoned. There's bubbles in the kava. That's a sign that the kava is strong. When they make it the traditional way with stones in the Nakamal, the village meeting house, then it can be really bubbly. It can almost be like the head on a mug of beer. If you drink kava with lots of bubbles, you know it's going to be a wild night. It's getting the final sieving now. It's already been sieved once, twice if you count the initial sack. This is the final sieving, so that we end up with extra clean kava. This is a slightly different type of kava. The kava we were seeing being made before is a type called Borogu or Borongoru, which is associated with Pentecost Island. That's one of the best kavas in Vanuatu. Some people describe it as a noble kava. It's one of the most widely exported. This is also rated by some to be a very good kava. Personally, I've had bad experiences of it. This is known as yellow kava or mellow mellow. This is particularly associated with Ambai, which is an island near to Pentecost. Ambai was the island that inspired Valley High in the musical of Tales of the South Pacific. So customers at the kava bar tonight can have their pick of Pentecost Island kava or Ambai style kava.
So just the two.
Well, there are other kava bars around town where you can find other varieties, but
here we have just
here
the
we
two.
have the Borogu
and this kava right here
this is the Borogu. This is the standard Pentecost kava variety. Lovely plant, heart-shaped leaves. The barkeeper's now washing the shells ready to serve customers in. The individual stalls in this kava bar don't have water piped into them, but there's these communal taps that people can get water from. That's commonly the situation here. I've been drinking kava in villages where the nearest tap to the bar is like 200, 300 meters away, 500 feet. people are constantly going back and forth with buckets. I even went to one kava bar once where there was no tap at all. The barkeeper got his water from a spring on the beach. There was a place where you could park the stones on the beach and a little spring of fresh water came out, and he painstakingly used a cup to get all his water from that. It was the best water supply he could find, and it was brilliant kava.
Wow. And then that's their bowl right here that they use to wash out all the.
The washing up bowl. Every 20 minutes or so they'll change the water in that, keep it clean.
Wow.
So, and here we have the final product. Vanuatu tradition dictates that the honoured guest should drink the first shell, which is our friend Ron here.
Don't mind if I do.
How is it?
Yeah.
Good?
Thank you. Oh, that's good. Excellent. Thank you.
This is the traditional tool for making kava on Pentecost Island. Different parts of Vanuatu have different ways of making kava. On Pentecost, you take this, which it's quite sharp. It's made from a type of coral stone found in the sea. You take 3 or 4 lumps of kava in one hand, you take this in the other hand, and you grind like that. It mashes up the kava, mashes up your hand too if you're not very good at it, and bits of ground up kava fall down onto a wooden platter. This is quite a phallic object, and
It gets sharpened too.
it gets sharpened, yeah, with a machete, a bush knife. People will sharpen it, and this.
So it is similar to coral.
It's similar to coral. It's also sort of, if you think about the shape, it's also quite symbolic of manhood. You know, kava making is a male activity here. It's something men do. And if you look at the shape of this, you can sort of appreciate the symbolism there. So yeah, this is what would be used on Pentecost Island in the north of Vanuatu. In the south of Vanuatu, they have a different way of preparing kava. They get small boys to take the lumps of kava in their mouth, chew them up, and spit them out. And then that spit is used to make the kava that everybody else drinks. I've tried chewing kava, and I can see why they force the small children to do it. It's a really horrible experience. The stone ground kava. This produces really good quality kava, much better than the stuff we're drinking here at the bar. But producing it this way is very, very laborious to produce a large quantity. It's very hard work. So here in town, people no longer use these. This one I brought back specially from Pentecost. It was given to me as a favour by a chief. Traditionally you'd use this if you're making a small quantity of kava, but whenever you're mass producing it like at a kava bar, you need a mechanical grinder. It would just be too much like hard work to make an entire bucket of kava using this.
On the way to the kava bar.
Okay. This is the place.
Sorry.
This is an example of how not to behave to someone who's just drunk 5 shells of kava, namely shining a bright light right in their face. Thank you, Ron.
So he just tried.
Yeah, but doesn't he have that plantation down there, that museum? Ready?
Chef. Wow.
Jeffrey was the owner of the first Kava bar in America. He started the Kava in America. Okay? So you'll have to get some of the tenor boys to send some tenor Kava over. Oh, yes. Ron at the end there, he's the manager of how many Kava bars, Ron? How many?
5?
5 Kava bars.
Yeah.
They all sell the Kava from this area.
Thank you. Wow, thank you.
First they sieve it through this one. This is called in the local language tabun woob, literally the milking sieve. This is what they will use when they're squeezing up the kava, mashing it with the water. And then for the final filtration they use this one. This one is finer. It's called the tabun rubber, the sieve for pulling. They use that when they're drawing the final product into the shell. Both of these come from young coconut trees. It's the fibre that grows around the base of the leaves of a young coconut tree. This is the traditional way of grinding it, using a lump of coral stone, known in the local language as a huases, which is just literally... Actually, huases is literally something for making it into lots of very, very small pieces, which is what it does. It grinds it up very, very finely. You know, when you put it through a mechanical mincer, the blades of the mincer go chop, 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 chop. Cuts it into small pieces, but not microscopically small. That is mashing it up at the cellular level. It's really releasing all the juices, getting all of the lactones out, and it's going to make it super strong.
90% extraction.
90% extraction?
That's what they tell me.
He's the kava.
I've done this.
The kava expert.
So we'll see how you feel after you drink it.
Heavy duty, huh? The strongest kava made.
This is your idea, just so you know.
No, it wasn't. It was a nice surprise for you.
No, it's your idea.
We're gonna give all of this to you as a present.
We're dead. This is the modern way of grinding kava through a giant mechanical meat mincer. These machines break a lot because kava roots are actually a lot tougher than meat. Well, actually, you're twisting both hands. Copy that action, basically. You've got to hold that end very strongly, basically. You've got to hold it very tightly. He's telling me, tell him to hold it tightly, and they're saying, he's saying that. So, hold that end really tightly.
Like this.
Yeah, tightly.
Like in a triangle. There you go. Like
yeah,
that.
that's it.
Real strong. Turn your hands like one way, one the other.
Huh?
Turn one hand one way, one the other.
Yeah.
Like, now turn your bottom hand the opposite way you're turning your top hand.
Pretty good, right?
You can see how well you're doing by how much of the ground powder actually falls into the dish.
Pretty much the whole bowl is filled up by myself. Finish all of it for you.
Bev nemelel knocking me. Yeah, I reckon so. See, yeah.
Hold on.
There's and the variety that actually is wild kava and undrinkable. They use that for scaring away devils. If someone believes that a devil or an evil spirit is following them, they will throw the leaves of the wild kava in their path, and it's like garlic for vampires or something. It puts them off. I've heard of people doing this too when they walk through graveyards. They leave leaves of it behind them to stop the ghosts following them out of the graveyard. We do locally nowadays is just say "sinio," which is literally Kava, which is kind of an equivalent to Malogu, what was being said yesterday. In Central Pentecost, as a matter of custom, you wouldn't have said anything. You'd have sat in absolute silence while the first Kava was drunk. Yeah, the first shell of Kava would traditionally be drunk by the most honoured person present, so it would be disrespect. That's going to be him tonight, yeah. So it would be disrespectful for people to be saying stuff while he was drinking.
Yeah. So, what would be acceptable for something in celebration to everybody to say together?
Yema kabe cheers your salu or Francis Rabebadma, Iko Ramin. Sante. Kimi Adoka, Rabebadma. After any Sante. There wasn't any tradition, there's no tradition of saying anything of that sort here. Traditionally, you stay quiet when you're drinking it. Yeah, you wouldn't drink it in celebration the way people drink champagne or whatever. That's not how Kava is used traditionally. What would traditionally happen, and still happens in a lot of places, someone will call out like your Kava, Mamsini in their language, and then you go over and drink it, and you bend down low out of respect to the person who's drinking it, and drink. Don't. When you're drinking it the traditional way, don't stand up while you drink. That's rude. Yes. Even nowadays, don't do that. You bend down as a matter of respect. Height is important in this culture. If you're towering over someone, you're not respecting them. You might have noticed when we were walking past the TV the other day, I was sort of bending down as I walked past. That wasn't to block people, because I was blocking people's view. No one cares about that. It's just a matter of respect. If you're sort of getting in someone's way or invading their personal space here, you sort of make yourself low. Got you. When they're drinking beer, they traditionally say tabwasawasani, which is we bang them together for obvious reasons, but that's not appropriate with Kava because you don't do that with Kava. You drink it of each shell individually in silence.
So we're gonna have to change our tradition that we started.
You're gonna have to, whenever you have a particularly honoured customer, you're gonna have to call for absolute silence in the bar. You're gonna have to make them crawl on their knees up to the bar. Reach over the bar. If it's a woman, that's if it's a man. If it's a woman, she's got to be right outside the door.
Because no women are allowed in the Kava bar.
Yeah, you got to put up your no women notice. To say something while you're drinking, but the best thing to say is probably just sini, which is just the word for Kava, or sinio, Kava. Sini is. Some people say the word sini is related to a phrase selngan temat, which translates literally as water of harmony. It's like the bringer of peace. In the north they say malohu. So Kava is seen as like the bringer of peace. It's what you drink when you don't want to fight. Unlike alcohol, which has a local name wabao, which translates literally as water of fighting.
So sini or malagu?
Malohu.
Malohu.
M-A-L-O-G-U, but try and make the G stick in your throat like you're trying to cough. Malohu.
Malohu. And that's accepted?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Kava is now being mashed up with water or milked, as they'd say locally. Traditionally, this would be done on a big wooden platter, big flat platter of wood that they cut from the buttresses of huge trees that grow in the jungle. No one around here, I think, was willing to let us cut off the buttress of their huge trees, so we're just doing it in a bowl. But it's the same basic process. The Kava's being mashed up with water, but notice not very much water. This stuff is pretty strong. And this is what we're going to drink out of. traditional coconut shell, and Jean-Marc's even gone to the trouble of making us some traditional holders out of half coconuts. Entirely, apart from the plastic bowl, which, as I said, is we've had to improvise because we're doing this in the middle of the capital city rather than in the bush. Everything here is entirely traditional. There's absolutely nothing here that their ancestors wouldn't have had back in the Stone Age. So this is the first squeezing. This here is not the final product. This is very strong. It's just being squeezed through the rough first sieve, the tabun wu, the milking sieve. They're squeezing it temporarily into these shells, and then they'll pull it through a finer sieve to make the finished product. You can see from the bubbles in it that what we're dealing with is very strong kava. Kava only foams like that when it's really pretty strong. This is the final sieving. Now this here is the tabun raba, the sieve for pulling, literally, and there's this special origami way of folding it, which I've never quite got the hang of. It's going to pull the sort of partially sieved kava through this into the shell, which you are then going to drink. You can see why they call it pulling. He sort of pulls it up as he pours. Look at the bubbles on that.
Dari sini.
Hah?
Kau mana di sini? Mbak.
Oh, because
Bukan bisa.
Ron's pretty retarded.
pretty retarded. Yeah. Whoa.
Remember to sit down before you fall down.
Oh yeah. All right, Ozzy, this is for you. He just said a prayer.
Namun. Okay.
I was just saying, in Pentecost tradition, and I know this is true, I've experienced it myself, even if there was a really big chief present, as a visitor from far away, you would be honoured with the first shell. You know, kava is all about welcoming people to your nakamal. If people are going for a meeting at which they're playing Dawaki, they won't drink kava. Kava is about welcome and friendship.
Action. Second shell.
Dang.
All right there, Jeff.
Yeah.
Here we go. Second shell.
What? Any photos? Of Kava Bar now.
Andrew's second shell. And he is a seasoned professional. This is my third shell. I'll be falling down after this one.
In America, same. Kava, same. Everything going on here, it's the same in US.
Oh, good.
Same thing. Where you going, Ron? Ron, don't throw up on the red carpet. Over there. Yeah. You want for me to?
This is number 3 for Ozzy. walk back after 10 chills. Yeah, easily 10. And I'm wasted right now.
When we started.
The problem is that the buses are driving right next to us. My stumble, their swerve, it's over.
I'm told the fundraising is somewhere down this street.
It's all good, man. It's an adventure.
Adventure of a lifetime.